Good evening, and welcome back to another episode of Self, God, and Money. I am your host, Benir Pierre, abundance, intuition, and monetization strategist on a mission to help you heal your relationship with self, God, and money. We are live every Wednesday afternoon, and it is a joy to have you here with me. Before we jump in, be sure to share this with a friend and comment below. Let us know where you are tuning in from. Today, we are having a conversation that is kind of overdue. Many of you have noticed some changes happening in the background. Maybe you've been on my website, maybe you follow us on social media, but I keep getting the question, what is an AIM strategist? So today I want to really go into my signature framework, which is the AIM success strategy, and discuss what it is and why you need it in your life. So again, if you are tuning in, go ahead and let us know where are you watching from and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do in your business. Many of you have been following me for years, so it is no secret that I am a coach, a strategist for purpose-driven leaders. But recently, I have gone through a bit of an internal shift, and AIM Success Strategy was born from that shift. I have a little bit of a beef with the coaching industry, if we're being really honest. I think that there is this tendency to preach love and light, love and light. Like somehow you can think your way rich, or somehow there's no strategy that's necessary. And the conversation is often incomplete. There's a lot of spiritual bypass that happens when we have these conversations about what is abundance and what is it to trust your intuition. And on the other hand of that, many of you have worked with me to build your business for years. My background is financial planning. And so I've always been about getting to the money. But I had a shift some years back because I was focusing so much on healing, but people didn't want to hear me when I was talking about healing. So we focused on healing your relationship with money, but the truth is that there is no difference. Personal development is business development. And so today I really want to just kind of pull back the curtains, if you will, on the way that I do things and exactly what it is to work with me. Again, I mentioned earlier, I have a little bit of a beef with this idea that, all you need is manifestation and positive intention to create the business you want. There's so much more that's necessary. I've worked with thousands of leaders throughout the years. And one thing I have seen to be true, that every successful business person has these three components in their business. The first is that they are aligned with abundance. I love the comment that just came through. Money is energy. And if you followed me for any length of time, I agree, Sheila, if you followed me for any length of time, then you know that money really is just access. And so while we focus on getting to the money, like I just said, really this is about creating embodied abundance, abundance that flows from within. So the first thing that I've noticed about every great leader is that they have that abundance mindset. And a little bit later, I'll talk exactly about what that is. But great leaders know that abundance flows to them freely. They understand how to create the abundance that they desire through their thoughts, through their actions. And so it's really important to make sure that you are aligned with abundance when you are wanting to create a sustainable business. The second thing I've noticed about great leaders is that they are tuned into their intuition. It is impossible to be an effective leader and not listen to your intuition. And the world would have you think that there needs to be a choice between your intuition and your intellect. But I'm here to tell you that if you are not integrating your intuition in your business, you are doing yourself a disservice. Again, I'll get into it a little bit later and teach you some of the things that I use in my business that help make my clients successful. But I've noticed that every great leader is tapped in and tuned into their intuition. And finally, the thing that I see that sets great leaders apart is that they have learned to monetize their magic. There is this belief that you have to trade your time for money. And I'm here to tell you that is false. The truth is that if you are getting paid for your time, you will never, ever, ever have enough time or make enough money. But when you learn to monetize your magic, when you learn to monetize the things that make you uniquely you, then you truly do set yourself up to be an industry leader. So today we're going to talk about exactly how I use those three principles of abundance, intuition, and monetization in my business to help my clients manifest the business of their dreams. So again, if you are tuning in, I see that we have a few comments. I see we have some folks tuning in from Florida. If you're in, go ahead and let us know where you're watching from. And if you have a biz bestie that you know needs this, go ahead and tell them that we are live. So let's jump in. So the first step in the AIM success strategy is aligning with abundance. And what does it mean to align with abundance? Alignment literally is, the whole thing that AIM is about is being really clear about where you're going and creating the path that is the easiest and most simple way to get there. And so really being clear about your intention, really being clear about your destination. And so when we talk about aligning with abundance, I found that it's easy for people to manifest. Manifestation is truly just bringing your thoughts into fruition. So it's easy to have the passion behind what you want to create. It's easy to be really hyped. Many of you have done manifestation challenges with us in the past, and we have manifested hundreds of thousands of dollars in a very short amount of time. But the key to true manifestation is not a transactional relationship, but it is embodiment. And so the first step in my framework really teaches you how to embody abundance so that you're not only attracting things or sales or clients, you are attracting a state of being that is abundant. This is abundance from the inside out. So this is peace of mind. This is joy. And this is absolutely money. So let's talk a little bit about how do you align with abundance. The first step in manifestation, and if you have watched any of our trainings, if you've done any of our courses, you probably know this one inside and out. The very first step in manifestation is crystal clear intention. It is vital to know where you're going before you start. Often we have an idea of what we want to create when it comes to our business. We have an idea of who we are serving, and we have an idea of the impact that we desire. But how often are you getting crystal clear to the point where you can taste it, you can smell it, you become it? And so it is vital to be crystal clear on exactly what you want, but even more important than what you want is why you want it. How will your life change? Earlier, we talked about how money is just energy. Sheila said that money is just energy. Money is just access. And so if money is your end goal, I promise you are doing it wrong. And you will always be chasing money because just like money flows in, money flows out. And so this isn't about manifesting the money. This is about manifesting the access to what you really want. I have so many clients who desire to build schools, who desire to set their communities free, who desire to create multi-generational wealth. And so get aligned with that intention. Be crystal clear about exactly what you're wanting to create beyond the money. The 10K months, the 100K months, that's the easy part. The part that takes a little work is knowing what those 100K months are going to do for you. Hey there, Mary. I am so glad to see Mary tuning in. Mary is actually a dear friend for several years, so it's such a joy to see a familiar face. The second step in manifestation is having unwavering faith. Now, this is the part that trips a whole lot of folks up, because it's one thing to say that you have faith, but often faith is in the things that you can see and in the things that you can kind of figure out. I believe this might happen, until something happens that makes me question it. And then never mind, that's not actually what I want. And I'm a firm believer that a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. And so when you are manifesting, it is vital that you have unwavering faith in whatever that thing is that you're asking for. Now, none of us can predict the future, and often what we think is best for us really isn't. And so it's important to understand that when you set your intention, you have to release attachment to what you're asking for. So understand that unwavering faith is not saying, I know that what I'm asking for is going to happen. It's saying that I know that this or something better is flowing to me in perfect timing. Which leads me to the final point, which is step 3, aligned action. This alignment word keeps coming up because this really is the central point in all of my work. If you are not aligned with your purpose, if you are not aligned with the work, if your thoughts, your words, your deeds are not aligned with the intention that you've set, you're doing it wrong and it's not sustainable. And my focus is helping you heal your relationship with money. And in healing, that means that there is sustainability. So to take aligned action means that you are taking action that is directly in alignment with the thing that you say that you want. So for example, if you say that you want abundance, aligned action means moving in abundance and not out of fear. And I always talk about how faith and fear are just as powerful when it comes to manifestation, right? So aligned action is only working with the clients that set your soul on fire, because you know that that is what allows you to show up at your best. When you are not in alignment, what moving out of fear might look like is taking on clients that probably aren't a good fit, probably are going to give you a headache. Maybe because you don't see enough clients signing on that might look like cutting crazy deals and calling them sales. And so when you're moving out of scarcity, you're not taking aligned action. When you are busy but not productive, you're not taking aligned action. So the third step is vital, because we can take action all day, but when you manifest, you have to be in position to receive. And folks sometimes think that receiving is a passive word, but in the first step of my framework, I teach you how to take the action to get into position so that you are an active and conscious creator in the abundance that you are desiring. Which leads me to the second part of my framework, which is integrating your intuition. It's so important as a business leader to trust your gut. And often we get caught up in imposter syndrome and comparison. And I'm a firm believer that comparison is a thief of joy. You can never be present in the moment and experience the joy and the gratitude that is available to you when you're comparing yourself against other people. And often what you are comparing is their highlight reel. And not only their highlight reel that has been filtered, that has been cleaned up and made IG appropriate. And so it's always an unfair comparison. And it's like you are dangling this carrot in front of you, trying to match up to something that's not even realistic. And so it's important to know that there is no competition, and that really is part of abundance mindset. But when you recognize that there's no competition, you're able to trust your own intuition to lead you to the answers. And so when it comes to being a cutting edge industry leader, intuition is vital in helping make sure that you are making the decisions that will move your mission forward. I work with visionaries. I work with people who know that they have been given a gift and have a purpose that only they can fulfill. So the question I have is, if you know that you're the only one who is called to do this, and that, we know that there are many companies who do the same thing, but even if they have the same recipe, and even if they have the same ingredients, they can't do it like you. And so if you know that you were uniquely designed, fearfully and wonderfully made to create the thing that you were given, you do yourself a disservice. Sheila just said it is an insult to God to compare yourself against someone else. And so it really is vital that as a leader, you are able to tap into your intuition and trust yourself to make the right decisions for your business. When clients work with me, one of the first things that we do is get clear on your unique gifts. Get clear on the way that your intuition speaks to you. I'll be teaching about intuition and clair abilities a bit later, but for now, what I'll say is this. All of us have intuitive gifts. It is not something that is uniquely saved for the prophet or for the psychic, right? All of us have gifts. And when you are not tapping into your intuition, what you're doing, number one, is making things much harder for yourself. Spirit is throwing you numbers and throwing you signs, whispering in your ear, yelling in your ear. And it's like you're walking around covering your ear saying, no, I don't want to hear it. And you're making things so much harder. One of my very first courses I created in conjunction with Spirit because I received the course itself in a dream. And then when I was getting ready for work the next morning, I received the entire sales page spoken to me. But when we're so busy that we can't hear, and when we don't build the relationship so that we can both hear and trust, what happens is that we make things so much harder for ourselves, and we're always looking to other people for the answers. We're always looking for what's the next best thing. What is Google saying is trending? Or what is, Forbes list saying is trending, as opposed to tuning in, taking that time to connect with you so that you can set the trend as opposed to follow the trend. And so one thing that I encourage you to do to help integrate your intellect and intuition today is to really take some time in the morning before you start your day and just check in with you. I encourage all of my clients to meditate and provide a daily routine for that. So if you like meditation, that certainly is one way that you can get into a centered space. But figure out, what is the one thing that I need the answer to today? Write that question at the top of your notebook, and then allow yourself to just write until the answer flows to you, without trying to control it, without trying to give it meaning or judging what it is. Allow yourself to get into that space of just allowing and being a channel and a conduit for what God is speaking. Because so many of you have these gifts that you can't do on your own. If we are being real, you are mission-based, you are purpose-driven, and your vision is not just for you. And so it's important that you are listening for a fresh word, for a fresh anointing, so that you know what is needed. I could be on my soapbox about that all day, so I'm going to get off. But I promise, if you are at all interested in really connecting with your intuition and leading from a space that is authentically you, Be sure to continue tuning in because we will be having several trainings about this very topic. This has been a highly requested topic. And if you are a member of Magic Money Society, you actually already have access to that. The final tip that I want to give and the final piece of my framework is monetize your magic. And so when we talk about monetizing your magic, it's really important to first define what is your magic. And that again goes back to trusting your intuition, right? That again goes back to being the industry leader. That again goes back to finding those things that are uniquely you and monetizing that. And so one of the very first things that I help clients with is connecting with the soul of your brand. It's so easy to come up with logos and colors and maybe even messaging sometimes. It's easy to come on here and do bro marketing and get everyone hype about what you're selling. But if you are not connected with the soul of your brand, the thing that uniquely sets you apart, then what you're building is not sustainable. Just like manifestation, you can absolutely create it. The hype, the energy, everything is about energy. And so if you are in alignment with that energy, you will create it. But can you sustain it? And what I teach is how to sustain it. And so the first step in monetizing your magic is really getting clear about the soul of your brand. Who are you? Who do you serve? How do you serve? What uniquely sets you apart in the marketplace? The second part of that is connecting with your soulmate clients. And you've heard me say this over and over again because it is so vital. I love my work. I jump out of bed every single day, eager to do my work. And so it's important that I only work with people who allow me to have that same joy every single day that I come to work. And so by connecting with your soulmate clients, you don't have to worry about the sales, especially like the sleazy things and the manipulative tactics. You would be amazed at how many people have asked simple questions like, is it okay for me to take time to think about this offer? Because they're used to having people who are not their soulmate provider, who uses manipulative tactics and tries to lure them in with false promises, tries to, get them to make a decision without the freedom to think about it. And so the decision and the yes is never a full yes. It's coerced. And one of the first things that I committed to is to always require consent in my exchange. My work is a sacred exchange. And so there must be consent. When you're working with your soulmate clients, it's easy to give an embodied yes. On both sides, it's easy for both of you to be excited and eager about the work and show up fully. And when you show up fully, you get transformative results. So we get clear on the soul of your brand. We get clear on your soulmate client. We develop your transformative framework. So we talked about transformative results. Well, we need some type of framework to make sure that you get there, because again, a lot of folks will have you think that you can just manifest clients and manifest transformation, but there has to be some path, some process that gets them from where they are to where they want to be. And so we help you build out your framework. We build out your soul-aligned suite of products. And so we talk all the time about having multiple streams of income, but if you have multiple jobs or multiple streams of active income, you're doing it wrong. This is about flow and not about hustle. And so with the framework that I teach you, we create an offer stack or a suite of products that allows you to show up fully in flow and do the work that you love in a way that is easy, in a way that is enlightening, and in a way that creates embodied abundance. So if you are listening and you know that the AIM success strategy is something that you need in your business, If you've worked with other coaches who tried to tell you to journal your way to $1 million, or other marketers and strategists who only gave you the strategy but didn't give you the tools to maintain what you create, then I would love to speak with you, and I invite you to schedule a call with me. The link is here at the bottom. And if you have gotten joy, if you have learned something, if I have blessed your life today, I encourage you to tell a friend. We are here every single Wednesday, so be sure to turn on those post notifications, and we will see you next week. Walk in abundance.